the knowledge, man, not necessarily the money. The money is just a tool.
Good trappers, it's your boy the Wall Street Trapper. We got another episode of Re-Up Tuesdays, man. Listen, got my beautiful, brilliant, beloved co-host, the Queen JAMILA, one of the most detailed and methodical trappers, queen, male or female. Like, you feel me? King or queen. Okay. Like, I put up against anybody, man. You know what I'm saying? I know she gonna hold it down. So, man, how you been, Queen? Let's talk about. We had a dope episode last week. A lot of people they like, yo, I'm saying you are becoming the people's champion. I just gotta say that every episode. Every episode, I gotta tell you that you are becoming the people's champion. I just gotta tell you that.
Man, that's humbling. That's humbling, and I appreciate it. As always, I really just want to make sure whatever I can personally do, because I know I've been blessed, to be able to get a ton of information and then be able to apply it in the market. So if I can give it to everybody, that's what I want to be able to do. And breaking these little chunks down on Re-Up Tuesday, the way we're doing, I know really helps make it plain for a lot of folks. The trappers are telling me all the time in the group, and then they're coming back and using it in live from the kitchen. Man, that just makes me
sleep on that for a second, right?
Ooh, that makes me feel so good.
That's how important this is. Like, for anybody who's watching, like, the Trappers Anonymous community is a dope community. It's more than just, putting information out there. It's real engaging. It's real interactive. A couple weeks ago, man, we literally did a 3-hour class, right? A 3-hour class. And then I think the week before that, we did a 2-hour class, 2.5-hour class with the live from the kitchen and then the book clubs. Like, it's an amazing community where we just align, right? And we, help, assist, encourage, motivate other trappers with like-minded, visions on turning their last name to an asset. And what I love about that is I think the trappers in the community be connected a little bit more than everybody else because, we help them on a journey, right, of building wealth. We help them on a journey of investing in stocks. But then it's like they get lit, they can add, it's like you putting things together. You took the Wall Street Trapping course, now you're in a community, you're adding this value, and then boom, here's this re-up. So now you're like, oh, I got another tool to put into the arsenal.
And I'm watching the trappers do that, especially in the live from the kitchen the last couple weekends. It like they're putting I can tell they're getting it, but then they're getting it, but they're not just getting it, they're taking it to another level. Mm-hmm. That is how someone's really able to receive and internalize what you're sharing from a teaching standpoint, is when they take it, internalize it, and then they take it to another level with their research. And that right there that warms my heart. It adds a ton of value and makes me want to go harder.
And I think that's what people don't realize, like that's what we stand on over here, right? We stand on being a great fundamentalist. And there's so much to learn about fundamental investing, right? You can read 10 books about it and still not, you know what I'm saying? So for us, it's always trying to package it and put it in a place. I know I'm gonna drop another course where it goes in deeper depth. You know what I'm saying? I told in putting assessments together. I really want to just like transform the whole idea of what it takes to be. Like, I want to make the fundamental investing the new cool. You know what I'm saying? So where like we talking about business and we ain't just saying, like the first step is to get people to say, I bought a stock.
Right.
The second step is to get people to understand why they bought the stock.
Absolutely.
The third step is to understand that this is my business. This is the risk involved. I own it. This is why I own it. This is the pros and cons. And then you start spitting the metrics out and they're like, oh, you trapping.
You big trapping.
That's kind of the goal and objective of what we doing. And I just love the way, each and every week we just laying it on thick. Like listen, this is going to be the hottest thing on YouTube. I'm telling you. We just got to keep putting it out there. Man.
What's good, trappers? Welcome in. So what I want to do right now is introduce you to Trappers Anonymous.
Trappin Anonymous is a dope community that we have of all like-minded investors. It's for those who are looking for a little more engagement, who want to get questions answered, who want to engage with me, the Trapper. This is my intermediate family, right? I really rock with the Trappers in this community real hard because Monday we have a day called Monday Madness. Tuesday we have Ticker Symbol Tuesday. Wednesday, Wild Out Wednesdays. Thursday, ETF Thursday. Drip Fridays, and Say Something Sundays. It also comes with a weekly class every Sunday, and we do a live book club. So do me a favor, click that link below and join Trappin Anonymous. We're giving it to you for the first 7 days for $1, $1 only. And everything after that is $37 a month, only for the next 30 days. Because if you don't get it now, the price is going up to $47 because we just add value. We want to just add as much value as we can to make you a better trapper, to help you build wealth one share at a time and turn your last name into an asset. Trap with me. Now go kick the link and get out of here.
First, before we even get into business, like before we get into having this conversation, how you been? Like, what's going on? A lot can happen. I mean, I know what's been going on. You've been in a group, you've been talking. I do want to say that you have been in my prayers. I know you went through something. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to put that out there with the family, but I know you lost someone dear and close to you.
Yes.
So we definitely had you in our prayers, and I definitely was like, yo, you don't got to come back till you ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that was important. So I just want to say thank you for having the strength, for coming back, you know what I'm saying, whenever you were ready, you know what I'm saying? And to show respect to you, I wasn't going to drop an episode till you got ready. Not of this. You know what I'm saying? So we thank you for that. We just going to keep our prayers out. And, you know, I'm here. Healing is a day-to-day process.
It is. And I'll tell you, part of the motivation, you know, for those that don't know, and I don't mind sharing, is that I lost my father. My dad is hands down, will always be. I don't think there'll be someone that is a bigger fan of me than him ever. He had 3 girls in total, so I got an older sister and a younger sister. So before girl dad was a cool thing, you know, back in the 70s and the 80s, my dad was a proud girl dad. He never even wanted boys. But when I tell you from a creativity standpoint, discipline, hard work, that's what he taught me every day and what he went out and did. Working for the Times-Picayune for almost 40 years, you know, was a layout artist there and taught me a ton. And most importantly, why it was so important for me to get back to my regular day-to-day life is because that's what he would have wanted me to do. Right. So there's no doubt in my mind he would just be like, keep it moving, you know, keep the name moving, keep the legacy moving forward. So me sitting around, man, that we just don't do that in the Brown household. You know what I mean? That's just not what we do. So I have to honor and respect that as a part of his legacy.
I think that falls into principles and the groundwork that he laid. You know what I'm saying? I remember one day we talked about in a group, we said, if you as a parent passed away today or tomorrow, what is the blueprint that you would for your kids to follow? Like if you couldn't give them no money,
not a dollar,
what is the blueprint that you've laid out that they can execute on? This is A, B, C, D, E, all actionable steps that you can take to secure and accumulate wealth. But also the internal principles, right? The honor, the respect, due diligence, hard work, discipline. You know, stay prayed up, keep God first. Like the wealth is not only just, you know, that, it's also the morale, those type of principles that you leave behind as a father. One of the things I often do with my daughter is every morning before she go to school, it's, you know, you're the most beautiful girl in the world, right? Like, you know you my favorite girl, right? You know what I'm saying? You know you're beautiful, right? You know you intelligent, right? Like you a leader or a follower. And she like, I'm a leader. Why are you a leader? Because I make my own decisions, daddy. All right, cool. You know what integrity is, right? Yes, what is integrity? Doing the right thing when nobody is looking. All right, I like that. You honest? Yes. Why are you honest? Because I gotta tell the truth, even if people don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like these are some of the things I'm in, like every morning we have this conversation.
That's
You know
huge.
what I'm saying? Every morning we had these conversations. So that's me installing the moral ethic side of her. You know what I'm saying? So do we
And
keep
the value that
yeah,
she'll have for herself is huge, Trap.
yeah,
I tell people all the time, dudes included, there's not a person on earth that could come up with the most creative compliment from me other than him. Like
yeah,
he was so creative with it. Like he would just say some stuff out the blue like that. Like, dang, where you got that from? Your game, right, Dad? And that's you want to be that person for her. So man, I love that. I applaud that. And I know it's part of why I hold myself in such high regard is because of his presence and that conditioning, of having those types of conversations day to day, priceless.
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 And so mine is only 5. So I want her to get, and even when I do certain things with her and we go places, it's just, I like to install, like I don't stop her from being herself. And we just, I don't want to try to shape and mold her character, right? But I want her to have guidelines in which she operate in. And she may not get it now. She just knows she repeating it. But if we keep on getting it, it's you plant the seed, which is how we do with wealth. You know what I'm saying? We building this one shed of shine. We plant the seeds.
Absolutely.
That's definitely important. So what we talking about this week? Let's talk about it. What we talking about this week, y'all?
So I think something, and a lot of times what inspires me, and I'm always thinking about what to share with the people, what to share with the trappers, how can I add value? And one of the things I hear a lot is, when the market turns a little red, right?
Look,
Just a little bit, not even like a whole percent red, just a little bit.
look.
Man, should I sell? Should I get out? Is this the time to get off this stock? And it's just this frenzy, right?
Right. Or we buying a dip.
Right? Are we gonna buy the dip? I'm about to unload. I'm about to get this or whatever that looks like. And then on the other side, when it's a little green and it hasn't come back to their buy-in price, right? Man, I'm gonna just get in. It ain't coming back. I'm gonna just get in. I'm gonna just get in. I'm gonna just get in. I'll just deal with it. I'll just deal with it. This my favorite company. So you know what? If I buy it at this price and it come back, I'll just get some more. It's whatever.
It ain't never coming down.
Right? It ain't never coming down. So I hear that so much, and ultimately it's because we're in the moment, right? We're in the moment of the market and not understanding the hundreds of years history of the market and what it really looks like on a chart. And you can even do that for a company. So I really wanted to break down, bear market versus bull market and corrections so that our trappers out here can actually just understand what's happening to them and not get caught up in the emotions, right? We talk about FOMO a lot, but the best way to cure FOMO is to research and understand the game that you're playing.
How you mitigate the risk.
Exactly.
Mitigate the risk by researching. How many of us ever bought a stock and the minute you buy it, it go down? The minute you buy it, the price go down. You're like, man, I should have held that thing a little long. I should have waited a little. I think the market actually does that every time. I can be done waited. Like I can be done waited and be like, all right, this is what I'm about to get it. And as soon as I buy, at least dip $2.
Right. And that was one of the first things I heard you say in the group. It happens to me every time. I'm ready for it now, right? And so I said, okay, well, me, I gotta put a plan on paper when I hear something that profound. Like he said, every time. Oh, so every time this happens? Immediately I said, okay, well, if I want 50 shares or something and it costs $100, I'm not gonna buy all 50 right now. Right? I'm not gonna buy all 50 right now. I'm gonna leave 10%, 15% on the side, maybe 25%, just depends, on the side and wait for that drop you're talking about. Somebody literally just asked that question in the group and I answered it just like that based upon what you shared because I need to have a little extra so I can average down.
I think somebody just know when I buy.
It's a conspiracy. They tapping the phones. We need to sweep the Trap House studios.
Yeah, we ought to get the people coming and put the beat buttons in. It's a conspiracy against me, man. It's a conspiracy. Every time, like it never fails. At least I'm like, what is this? So I even try to outthink it. Like I'm a buy, fake buy, and don't buy.
You fake buy. Save the order.
I'm fake. You hear me? Put the order in and take it out. Save the order and don't do it. The minute I press execute,
go.
Give up at this point. You hear me?
Right. Like you said, be ready for the drop.
Man. So listen, y'all already know how the queen get down, man. She's definitely got a great. Listen, I love these things more than y'all. I just want y'all to know that. Man. Y'all just getting a taste of them, man. We get her every week in Trappers Anonymous, man. So definitely check that out, man. So let's go, Queen.
Let's do it. Pull that presentation up.
Yep. Let you get in.
All right. So, like I said, we're going to talk about bulls versus bear markets, right? And really, we really just want to break it down simple. We're not going to get too complicated, just so you have a clear understanding of what you're dealing with, right? So, this is it. I'm going to define it so it's forever defined for you. A bull market is simply a 20% rise in the price from the low. Bear market is simply a drop from the high, 20%. That's it. That's a bull and a bear market, right? We just experienced a bear market for a very short period of time at the March low in 2020. And we're currently running right now, right? Not, I don't think we're quite 20%, but we're currently running, right? From the highs. How long do they last? Bulls versus bear markets. This is since 1957. Bull markets on average, not all, but on average, last 58 months. Right? We just came out of one about 11 years until we had that March low. But on average, a bull market lasts 58 months and a bear market lasts 12 months. So roughly a year. So when you think about that, and again, this is that perspective that I'm hoping to impart today, the perspective of what is actually happening. And this is over the course of, 60, 70 years. And then ultimately, what does that look like on a chart if we tracked all the bears in the bull market since 1957 leading up to 2019, right? So this doesn't include 2020. And you can see visibly these little red spots on this chart are your bear markets. Now, 2008, man, that was a doozy, almost 52% drop in the market, right? One of the worst. And back in the 70s, late 70s, there was a 48% drop during a bear market. But all in all, you can see those months, right? So the bull represents the months that those bear markets lasted, as well as the bull markets lasted. And you can see progressively over time, the bull markets are lasting longer as time continues to progress, right? The bull markets are lasting much longer. And that's where we want to capitalize. We said in the last episode that the stock market is designed to make money, right? It's designed to make money. And the majority of the people in the market are on the side of buying and holding, right? In hopes that the market goes up. They're bullish. Like I've said, there's a small sect out there that's bearish, but for the most part, folks are bullish. And you're seeing this play out on this chart as time goes on. Now, I'm not saying this bull market that we're potentially in right now is going to last 10, 15 years, but the probability is leaning towards it lasting longer than it actually turning into a bear market. And then those bear markets aren't lasting long at all. One of the fastest bear markets we've ever seen back in March 2020. So wanted to share that with you so you can see and understand and do your research. Now, with that being said, we're looking at the S&P 500, right? So the broad S&P 500, which is kind of like the godfather of the market that's used to kind of gauge what's happening in the stock market. You can actually look at a stock the exact same way, right? So if you pull up a chart and you look at the entire history of a chart on one specific company, and even an industry, if you can find an index for it, you can see how often those corrections are happening, how long those corrections are happening, or the bull or bear market, how long that's lasting, and how often it happens. And then what's the average percent correction for a specific stock and or a specific industry, right? How does that help you though? How does that help you to do that for a specific company? Well, prior to the split, I was doing a little homework on Tesla and Apple to understand what are their average corrections so that I understand the drawdown that I might experience if I buy it as soon as it splits, right? Because that's going to be at the high. And if I know that average correction is, 25% maybe on Apple and 40% on Tesla, and I'm just throwing random numbers out, then I understand that I could be looking at a 40% correction if I buy it at a high, right? So going back to what we talked about at the beginning and having the patience, right, to wait on your price. And also, if you don't wait on your price, understanding the type of correction that you can experience if you buy it at an all-time high. So just like we're looking at the S&P 500, the broader market, 500 companies represented, the bear and bull markets, how long they last on average, we can also look at individual companies the exact same way after we've done our fundamental research and understand what we might be looking at and when the next correction or the next bear market on that specific stock may come into play, right? So we talked about the months and how long they last. Now let's talk about the returns during those same bull and bear markets. So on average, since 1957, right? Wasn't even born then, right? Since 1957, on average, a negative 33% return during that period of the bear market. And we said they last about 12 months on average, some longer, some less, but negative 33%. A bull market, positive 153%, right? So I know a lot of people, unfortunately, that took their money out of the market and realized a 50% loss in their portfolio in 2008. A lot of people. Go ahead, Trey.
One of the things about that is also, we always talk about time in the market
Yes.
is better than timing the market. Time in the market, what we got to understand and realize is that the market is going to go ups and downs. It's like being in a relationship. No relationship is 100% just all happy time. Cool. It's saying to myself that I'm willing to thug it out, right? I'm willing to, I've built a relationship with this person. This is what we're going to do. The thing about the market is often this, man. The market is sometimes reasonable. It's sometimes unreasonable. It doesn't mean we get away from it. It's just saying, okay, I see that you're being unreasonable right now, so I'm gonna chill.
Right.
I'm gonna wait till you're reasonable.
Right.
And that unreasonable phase can be a lot of things. It can be extreme volatility, right? The market is, up and down. It can be the market is all the way down, right? And it can be unreasonable because the prices are too high, right? So there's a lot of ways the market can be unreasonable. But for us, what we want to do is we want to be able to say, if you're unreasonable or reasonable, I'm still here. Like,
right. I ain't going nowhere.
We in this. Like, we in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to just dig it. I'm going to figure out how to deal with you either way the cut goes. Because I'm here. You ain't running me off.
Right.
I love you.
I love you. I love you. I ain't going nowhere. Right?
Okay.
And to your point, you don't know what the other person has been through, right? What emotional baggage they might have and what they might be trying to work through. They might need some new leadership or might need some changes in the product line. And then ultimately we're gonna move forward together.
Like, let's communicate. That's what
That's all we have to do.
Let's communicate. Let's learn what's driving you, what's making you do this. Let's talk about it. Let's understand. So that's definitely a good point and idea that you bring up.
Absolutely. So understanding those percent returns, and specifically the bear market side of it, right? Because so many people, like I mentioned earlier, want to get out, right? They don't want to experience that correction, whether that's correction on, to the negative on a stock, or even if they're up 100% and it corrects down to 70% and they're starting to lose some of that gain, don't want to sit. Right? They don't want to sit because, oh man, this could be it, right? They're scared, right? So FOMO works both ways. But understanding, if you take that out and you realize that loss, you're trying to pick the top and bottom of the market. And that ultimately will cause you and so many others that I personally know from 2008 to now, just to take a 50% loss and then miss out on 100%, 200%, 300% gain. Right? So not only correcting and getting back what you lost, but on top of that, gaining potentially 153% in the next bull market. So that buy and hold is critical. The buy and hold portion of it is critical. And frankly, we've seen stocks come out of that bear market from March 20 and do way more than 153% from the low. Way more. Not saying that's gonna keep happening, but this thing been it's been electric.
I'm talking, you know how long it takes? It takes a while. It maybe take a while for a company to do 100%, 100 and 200%. But I got a couple companies right now that I bought in that March 23rd,
Right.
and they up 150, 160%.
Easy. Like it was nothing.
Yeah, so I think one of the things too is understanding that what's the future, right? Not trying to speculate, but looking at businesses that have great financials, but also businesses that are driving the future,
Yes.
right?
They're going
And
to
when I
the
say
other
driving
side.
the future, yeah, when I say driving the future, I mean the other side of it. Like companies that are driving the other side of this is a great way for us to tap in and get those great returns as well.
Right. And to your point, those are the companies that are running like that,
Mhm.
right? Right? Not the companies that are in financial distress, but those companies that have the infrastructure, have the innovation, have the technology to not only succeed in what has probably going to go down in history as the most devastating global pandemic in the history of the world, potentially.
And almost this thing worse than a swine flu.
Exactly. So, with that being said, some of those companies that are in position, that were positioned for that, are running in that manner because of the technology and innovation that was in place prior to, and they were able to adapt. And those companies that were not in place, and we kind of already saw that they probably weren't going to be there 10, 20 years from now, has just accelerated
Mm-hmm.
their demise completely. But those are the companies that are running, 150, 200%. We spotlighted United Rentals,
Come on,
one
huh?
of those companies, right? And we spotlighted that company because ultimately, right, infrastructure is key.
That was one of my
That
keys there.
is key, right? And it's going to the other side,
It is
right?
running.
And it's running as a result. And there's a multitude of other companies that, well positioned. Chipotle, of
Just
course.
come on, huh?
Chipotle, well positioned to go to the other side, that capitalized in
Got
what
that
would
thing
should
at
have been catastrophic.
425. We got that thing at 425. That thing is at 1500. Stop playing, man.
Stop playing.
Try to be
No, and
known.
I finally tried their app too the other day, right? Because I'm trying to, make sure I'm in the game.
Like in the game.
Got to get in the game, and honestly, it's extremely seamless, and that's pretty much where everybody's going. You see companies like Walmart testing autonomous delivery. You got drones being tested.
Yes.
Companies trying to keep up so that they can go to the other side, right? And so when we look at that, we look at all these individual companies, we hear all this noise. At the end of the day, a bull market lasts about 58 months, a bear market lasts about 12. Here are your average returns. I don't want trappers to get sucked up in the noise,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Drown
what
and
do
noise
you
out.
yeah, what do you do with that, right? Why is all this important? Why is it so important to understand the game that you're playing in, right? Number one, you've got to have patience.
Mm.
I didn't say 1 month, I didn't say a week,
Mm-hmm.
right? I said on average 12 months and 58 months. So you've got to have patience, whether it's about the market or a specific company, you've got to have patience
True.
for that price that you're waiting on. And as I mentioned, bear markets don't last long. So you got to sit, right? You got to believe in the company that you purchased because you know what? They're a great company fundamentally. Two, they're going to the other side, like we talked about from an innovation and infrastructure standpoint, right? Got a great leadership team. And now we're going to research that, right? We're going to research when it's running, and maybe there's not an entry point. We're going to continue to research it so that we can stay ahead
Mm-hmm.
and know when things start to move in different industries and different sectors, we're ready at all times. And then ultimately, when they panic, that's when we eat.
We panic, we eat, man.
Ultimately, those little small red days,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about it all the time. There's got to be a buyer and a seller on those small red days. Those people that want to get out, that's what's going to bring the price to you, right? They're panicking, they're selling. Let them panic, and let's get those great quality companies at a phenomenal price, right?
I agree with that.
So that's the trap life. That's what I like to call it. The trap life is we talk about this all the time, right? We load the clip, which is systematically paying yourself. So if you get paid every week, twice a month, bi-weekly, whatever it is, you consistently pay yourself first into your brokerage account or into your retirement account. You select your starting five. I think of everything in sports because I played basketball, right? So I have a starting five. And I also got a bench, right? I need a 6-man and a few people just in case I need some subs, right?
Okay.
If these ain't, that relationship ain't right, I gotta have a sub, right? I gotta have a sub.
You gotta have somebody ready to go in. You gotta have that 6th man of the year.
All the time. But those are all gonna be great companies. And I know who those companies are. And I'm just sitting back waiting. I got a price that I want them at, that I think they're valued at, but that I can also get the type of return I'm looking for. Also, one of the things, this is a JAMILA, I want to make sure I work in that correction, right? If I've looked at the entire chart for that one specific company and I understand the average corrections, that's got to be built in for me. I don't like a ton of risk. That's me. So if their average corrections are 30%, well, I ain't buying him no less than 30% off. That's just me. Now, feel free to trap how you choose to trap, but for me, I like to make sure that's built in.
Nah, that's a fact.
Right? And then I'm going to wait on that bear market or the correction for that specific stock. And then I'm going to spray the market. I'm going to unload the clip.
Unload the clip.
So that is the trap life. But notice at each step, it's all about the preparation to unload the clip.
Listen,
right?
Unloading the clip is by far the most exciting thing to do.
That's the fun part. That's the sexy
The other part is just sitting there loading the goddamn on bullets that gotta go in the clip.
Right? But so often I hear people say, even in the group, oh man, it got to my price and I didn't have the money in the account.
You gotta
it took
always
24 hours to transfer.
Yeah, man.
And I missed it.
You gotta stay loading them clips, man. You gotta stay loading the clips. You gotta load the clips so you can be on when it's time. Like my goal is I won't always be ready, so I ain't never gotta get ready.
That's it.
I like my shit. I like my mine to have hair trigger, right? It don't take
it go.
Hair trigger, man. I just start hitting, we start spraying. And then we go from there, man. So that's definitely is really good track. It's a great breakdown, Queen.
And if you have the clip loaded, you've got your starting five, those companies that you got alerts on your phone when they move, right? Because that's my 10. I know what's going on, when it's going on. They checking in at all times in this relationship. This is my team, right? And then ultimately, when they hit that price,
you go get it.
Boom. I personally set a limit order as they're starting to approach and get close, but that's just we'll save that for another day.
Okay.
We'll save that for another day. Save that for another day. But that's the trap life. And that's why you have to understand the bull versus bear market and what you should be doing in between, whether we're in a bear market or we're in a bull market. This is it. This is what you're doing day to day. So taking a quick peek at one of the trapper favorites, Intuit. Right? Intuit is a hot. It's on fire, right? It's on fire. Completely on fire. This company, man, I tell you, Trap, this thing is on fire. And it don't act like it want to come back, right? So we said that at the beginning, but this one really acting like it don't want to come back. For real. Right. I don't know what it's going to take for it to come back, but it's acting like it's not coming back for anybody to get in.
And we talked about that. We talked about companies that are leading toward the future, right? And so we talk about Intuit. What do they do? You think about QuickBooks, entrepreneurs, they there for us. You think about those payment things like Mint, where you can keep tracking of your payment. You talk about being able to do your taxes on there. Like you talking about this being a one-stop shop for you for everything you need financially wise. Like this is revolutionary what they doing. And again, it don't want to slow down. I'm kind of mad that it don't want to slow down. It's making me mad.
Right.
This
Seriously.
is on my list. You know,
Yeah.
people always ask me that, like, Trap, like, you know, why you don't look at a lot of small cap companies and all that? And I don't have a problem with that, but it's so many big boys that's just going, I want the best of the best.
Right.
I want the best.
I want MVP.
I look at you know, Russell 2000 companies all the time. I'm not over there looking for penny stocks. I'm not looking for OTCs. There's enough big boys that I know that are heavyweights. I just got to be patient enough to get them at when I want to get them, right? Like I'm gonna look at them run and be like, man, you know, and I'm not gonna let the noise make me get it at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again. That's important.
I'm not about to see something running and make the people on the sideline make me buy this stock at an all-time high. Right? No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient, and I got them on my list. You put your price on them. I reevaluate it every 6 months so I can make sure we good. All right, cool. And then we good from there. Like, all right, I'm just chilling. Like, I'm not in a rush. This is the thing. I'm not in a rush to get rich.
Right.
I have the patience to be wealthy.
Not in a rush to get rich.
Because I have the patience to be wealthy. It's simple.
It's really simple. And that part about allowing someone else to make you buy something,
Come on,
man, that'll sober you up real quick from FOMO.
Come on.
Because that's really in effect what sometimes is happening is because you're hearing people say things, you know, people, you know, send a message out. Oh, I'm getting in. I'm buying this. It's gonna run this. It's great.
I'm doing it. I'll be like, good for you.
Right? But to allow someone to push you into making a decision you didn't want to make, yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Especially now my money, my life, and my child involved.
And really and truly, I don't know if sometimes we think about the stock market and our wealth creation in our portfolios. I don't know if we're thinking about these decisions are really affecting them. Like I know it's fun and we like it and there's a lot of energy and we enjoy it, but really and truly, that's when we make those decisions, we're making decisions that affect us and our families' lives and legacy. And so to allow someone to push you into that, we don't want that in the trapper world. We don't want that in the trap house.
Not in the trap life.
Nope, can't have it. So speaking about Intuit, right? Plus 12% on average, from a revenue standpoint, the last 5 years. The ecosystem, it is a sticky ecosystem. Very sticky, very sticky. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that on another episode, though. I'm not gonna go too far on that. EPS plus 36% on average the last 5 years, and dividend plus 17% on average the last 5 years. Those are some heavy numbers on three major important fundamental numbers. Price target 458 on the high, 409 at the midpoint, and 303 on the low. I'm not even quite sure what that person is smoking. They need to just go on and raise that price target. 12 buys, 2 holds.
I might be interested at a $300 price though.
I would too, but I don't know if it's coming, Trout. Unless something happens, I mean, I never say never.
300. I'll bust some shots at it for 300.
Now, question for you.
I got a few clips that I can let off at 300.
Now the question is
275. I'm unloading everything. Yeah.
So with that being said, because we've heard about Chipotle and Chipotle, and the fact that we know you wanted to purchase more. So is it 300? 303? 275. Ooh, you're in the hot seat now. I had to make it real.
So what happened with me with that was, and I waited, and my strike price on it was 500. Like for me, it was if it gets to 500, like that's what I'm doing. But because I got caught up in the situation of it being the pandemic had just hit.
Right.
And when it hit the 500, I watched it because I'm about to pull the trigger. I'm like, I ain't waiting. But it just kept falling. And I was like, well, it don't make no sense right now. Let me let it settle. And I remember it sitting at 425 for like an hour. It just was playing around. I was like, I came in the group. I was like, yo, Chipotle look good at 425. I bought it. Then I watched it as normal. When I buy it drops to like 420. And I'm like, all right. It went down to 415. I didn't buy it. It got to 409 and then it shot back up. So I'm not too mad.
Right.
But I thought it was gonna go down a little more. And I literally readjusted it from 500 to 375.
Ooh.
And that was my next point. I was like, all right, 409, I'm not mad. 375, 380, this is a grand slam for me.
Right.
This is a grand slam. And I waited. And then, but it did it so fast. It closed at 409. Woke up the next morning, it was at 500. I was like, whoa, what happened? What happened like that? And that sucker ain't stopped running. That sucker ain't stopped running since March the 24th. March 23rd, it got down to 409. I woke up that next morning, it was at 500. I was like, ooh, and it just kept going. I was like, God. So for me, Intuit, I'm 300.
Which is like, what, like a third? That's like 33%?
Yeah,
A little
300.
bit more than 33% from the current price correction.
300 puts it, 33% from the current price puts it underneath a bear market. I'm ready to go with it. Anything under, so that means, and you got to think, 300 puts it under its 200-day moving average. Right? So the 200-day moving average is a bear market indicator. Right. That's when people start getting crazy. You might hear a circuit breaker here and there. You get
right
like that. So 300, I'll bang out. Like I'll go crazy. I'm not gonna let the Chipotle. That's not gonna happen to me again.
Not gonna happen again. That's why I had to bring it up. Because I was like, wait, hold on.
To be real with you, I have 6 figures right now in the clip loader.
It's ready.
I just dump money in my account. I just keep dumping it. I'm like, I ain't tripping. Man, I may do that for the next year or two. You know what I'm saying?
Waiting on that type of correction on one of your top 5.
Yeah, because the way I look at it is they've pumped so much money into the market right now, right? Like, you got to realize people still don't have jobs. People still don't have none of that. So the market is overinflated. So I feel like if I can be just a little patient, I feel like, again, they panic, we eat, man. Trapping during a drought. We triple our network in a drought, man. You know what I'm saying? We triple our network in a drought. I mean, so, you know what I say? You make more money in a drought. You make more money.
That's what we do. That's the trap life. That's the trap life.
Trap life.
That's good stuff. Y'all got a little extra this week. It's a little extra, just a little extra.
Definitely.
That's inside the mind of Big Trap. We just got inside the mind of Big Trap. Fine. I need y'all to know what we just did. So then to talk a little bit about the CEO, which I hadn't done a ton of research up until this point on the CEO, right? So Sazan Gudazara, I'm gonna just assume I'm saying it correctly, 14 years with Intuit. What I really liked about him specifically is he was the co-founder of a tech startup, right? Mm-hmm. Early in his career, laser cables. He also has an electrical engineering background, right? That's what he got his degree in. And he also has an MBA. And he spent some time with Honeywell as well. I feel like that diversity of education and experience puts him in an incredible position to continue to lead Intuit, right? And that's something that as trappers, we really focus on is the leadership. right? Leadership is key, and we got something cooking up on that too for the future. But leadership is so important, and understanding and reading up on him specifically for this, it really gave me some insight as to how they've gotten to this point from an innovation standpoint with their platform, the ecosystem, and then ultimately how it's so sticky, right? For individuals and for small businesses, right? I wouldn't necessarily say they're quite like an Apple or something with devices, but ultimately, when it comes to finances, it would be a perfect comparison, making Intuit, of course, a Trapper favorite. So that's what I had on a company spotlight. And I hope you guys got something from it, especially tapping into the trap mind for a second. Yeah,
Now,
thanks for
guy, I say you
that.
definitely put me under some pressure with that. You hear me? But it's cool. It's cool. You know, I don't mind, man. We do it. You know, we do it because we love the game, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely, you know, appreciated. So this was a dope week. I like this week. I think it was good for me to get under that. Especially I think people love this company spotlight that you do.
Good, good.
This company spotlight makes, I think, because it brings everything in. Like what we talking about, it glues it because now we can show, yo, look at this company. So I think this was a dope week. I just look forward. I love doing these, man. These re-up-clues they're getting better. I'm telling you, you people trap, man. We love it. I see the comments. I read the comments all the time. So definitely, man.
Thank you. All love.
Look forward to you know, just getting another one. So you want to tell them something before we leave, Queen?
I tell you what, be ready. Trap just gave you he just gave you just stepped inside the mind. And the key indicator, I'm gonna give y'all a tell. When he leaned back, right? And his eyes go up in the air, right? And they dance a little bit, his eyes start dancing, you are inside the trap mind. I just want y'all to know y'all were just inside the trap
mind. You feel me?
That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm sitting back remembering the research I did. I'm like, man. Like,
That's it. That's the look. So that's what I want to leave everybody with.
Definitely, I want us to know, man, that we don't have to get it all at once.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You are the architect of your family's blueprint when it comes to building wealth. And it's okay. It may be getting a little challenging, but that's how I will go ahead and just break this down for us so we can understand the whole journey, man. So I would like everybody to just like this video, comment, subscribe, share it, pass it on to somebody. If you want to dig a little deeper, man, trap with us at Trappers Anonymous. Is a dope group for us, man. So we're gonna be out this week, man. Peace, man. Love y'all. Yeah.